这是金门纪录片，现存于美国国家档案局2馆。这部片子是1958年美国联邦资讯服务署委托亚洲制片公司所拍摄的，总长度12分50秒，描述823炮战过后的金门战地生活。影片内容主要以居民为主体，详实地记录了战争中的伤亡后送、物资补给的处境，还有一些聚落与城镇的景象，如古宁头北山的断垣残壁、后埔的市街生活，也有许多庶民生活的点滴及男女自卫队的受训画面。全片以人道主义关怀出发，用影像向西方世界介绍着这座岛屿人民的苦难，以及他们捍卫自由的坚毅。
This is Quemoy, just a speck on the map, only 45 square miles of land, but home to 45,000 free men whose right to live in peace was shattered. August 23rd, 1958. The guns of the Chinese communists opened fire on Quemoy. The Red Radio told the world that they intended to take Quemoy and other free Chinese territory by force of arms. In cities and towns distant from this island, people anxiously read the stories about the fierce bombardment. But what the newspaper headlines have not told you is the story of the forgotten people of Quemoy, the 45,000 civilians. This is their story. Before the shells began falling, the biggest town on the island had 14,000 people living their own lives and doing just about the sort of things people do elsewhere. The shopkeepers and shoppers, tradesmen, supplying the needs of this farming community. What has happened to this town? The buildings show the scars of the work of communist guns across the water. Schools and hospitals are but a few of the buildings damaged. And what about the people who use these buildings? Some have been struck down in their fields or in their homes and lie wounded in hospitals. Hospitals without enough beds. It was hard to tell where the next shell would strike. One fell near a boy whose life will be different now. A mother and child. And many others whose lives will not be the same after August 23rd. Sometimes the doctors cannot help. Nobody very important lived here. the shells have not spared the dead in their graves. And an old woman with all she has left in the world. The safest place is deep in the earth, so people learn to live a new way. There is a word for what the communists have tried to do to Quemoy: blockade. What does blockade mean? It means that the communists have tried to cut these islands off from food and medical supplies and the rest of the free world by heavy, sustained artillery fire. But Quemoy was not cut off. By sea and air, supplies came through to be unloaded through the shell bursts and the shrapnel. Planes and ships do not remain for long. They unload food and other supplies and load up wounded to carry back to hospitals in Taipei. As soon as the plane is ready, the ground crews and supply trucks move rapidly to safety, and the plane load of wounded takes off from Quemoy surrounded by bursts of communist gunfire. In between the attacks, life goes on. Quemoy is a community much like any community, with small merchants, street vendors, farmers, and repairmen. The people who call this wind-blown rocky island home continue to carry out the duties and pleasures which provide them with food, shelter, and entertainment. Like most people everywhere, all they ask is a chance to lead their own lives. A wall newspaper, long a way of passing on the news in China, is eagerly read by these men of Quemoy. For the women of Quemoy, a pause in communist bombardment means a chance to get the family wash done. And with the ever-present danger of a new round of shells, these women, scrubbing and cleaning in front of their damaged homes, are careful not to stray too far from the shelter of stone walls. This man has been a farmer all his life, and though many of his neighbors have been maimed or killed, he continues to till his fields in spite of the dangers of being in the open. And for the children, many of whom are too young to understand the grim preparations around them, almost any time is a good time to play. A game of tug-of-war, not an unusual sight wherever children are to be found. However, for that first faint whine of approaching shells, the underground shelter stands ready. It's wedding day for this Quemoy girl, a day she has planned and dreamed of for years. And to this girl, as to countless brides before, only a white dress, complete with veil and bouquet, will suit the occasion. When shells knock down roofs or punch holes in walls, there's only one thing to do: fix them. And so, what the guns destroy, the people of Quemoy, young and old, soldier and civilian alike, begin to rebuild. Bomb shelters were not originally intended as play areas, and although these children can enjoy a romp in and around these sandbagged enclosures, they have learned that bomb shelters can be islands of safety. The able-bodied men of Quemoy have been banded together for the task of civilian defense. They march out each day to build the defenses which will provide protection from the falling shells. Before the communists began their attack on Quemoy, these men worked in the fields or in the towns, providing the goods and services essential to ordered community life. Now, all this is suspended, and their most important task is to create the shelter necessary to save lives. And the schoolgirls. Books are put aside, for there is more important work to do. Maybe someday studies can be resumed. A slit trench is not the most comfortable place in which to live, but it's as safe a place as man has devised to avoid the blast of shrapnel. Trained nurses are in short supply on Quemoy. However, first aid does not require a medical degree. Despite the shells, Quemoy's determination to live is unshaken. For 9 years, 45,000 people have struggled for self-sufficiency and freedom. There is no stomach for surrender here, and it's a home they want to keep.